Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and in this video I will be reviewing this crochet hook case set. One of you lovely subscribers said, "Hey Summer, you haven't reviewed that crochet hook set you got for Christmas." And I was like, you are right. And actually, I had not even used it. What an ungrateful person I am. So I had pulled out my set of hooks and was like, I'm going to use them this week and I'm going to review them. I wish I could remember the subscriber's name. It slipped my mind. And so I'm so sorry that I'm not saying thanks, Becca. Or, you know, or whoever. It's not Becca. I just pulled that name out of my hat really because my cooperating teacher, that's her name. Okay, so here it is. Because I really hate personally the videos that rattle on and on and on before they get to the main point. And here I am doing it. And I took notes so I will not sound so all over the place. This set my husband bought for Christmas, not the 2019 year. Actually, it was. It was the 2019 year. And he got it off of Amazon. What I did is I went through Amazon and I clicked a bunch of things I was interested in, and then he bought them for me. And he is such a good husband because I clicked more than one lighted crochet hook set, and he bought me both. And it wasn't that I was being greedy. I just like, this one was a little cheaper. So I thought, well, if he wanted to buy me this one, he could, or this one. And my darling bought me both. So, let's go. Are you ready? Okay, so here it is, $34.99. I will put a link in the description below to this from Amazon because you all, my husband so kindly signed me up for some kind of marketplace link. And whenever you click on links that are to Amazon and you buy this item or any other item after clicking that link, I get a little bit of the money sent back over here. And then it lets me buy more things for my yarn corner that I can talk about in videos, the crochet bags and all that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate it because it kind of like helps me have more money in the budget to buy things to talk about in videos. And I'm not then taking money from my family's budget. Okay, so here it is, $34.99. All of that chatting about this. One of the things that I liked is it is a very convenient case. Everything you will need in here to crochet and more, okay? So they have all the hooks right over here and the little tool that you will need to help keep it on. In here is a bag of notions, and I'll go through all that. And then here is the hook, and here's the charging cord. Okay, so in the notions bag is, here, just one sec, Flynn needs something. Okay, in the notions bag is some propaganda. Some thank you for your purchase. I hope you like it. Actually, it says I hope it brightens your day. And this little instructions on how to use the tool. So that is in there. Then they gave you a nice big set of darning needles, which I did not know, and I went and bought my own. And these cute little scissors. And I remember talking about this the first time because I was going to send these to Mama Llama Kayla because she likes these pinching scissors. And of course, I put them in here after the video, tucked this in my thing, and didn't take it out until that person asked me to review them. Some stitch markers, the little plastic cookie kinds, that clasp. Another one of these because you can never have enough tape measures. And then inside of the bag are smaller and bigger heads because they can't fit them all in their little case. So they have on display for you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hook heads. And then in the center part, they have 3 more. So you're going to get a total of 12 hook heads. And they start with 42 millimeters. I'm American, so I have no idea. And up to a L8. Now, I'm going to talk about that in my negative, so hold on a bit. And then, like I said, also it comes with the wrench. I'm going to show you the wrench. Get that little guy out. Here it is. You use this to tighten your head onto the handle. Okay, so let's talk about the handle. I covered up my notes. The handle is good for the knife holders, okay? So if you're someone who holds your hook like this, you are going to love it, okay? So that is important to notice, because I'm going to tell you guys, I am a pencil holder. I hold my hooks like this, and that's why I typically like Tulip and Clover, because they have this like little thumbprint here, and I hold my hooks like a pencil and I crochet. The sad news is this handle does not work well for the pencil holders. Now, I can do it. I can hold it like a pencil, but it just doesn't go as smooth and as fast as when I am using my Clover, my Tulip, my cheap set off of China, the very first set I ever bought. Personally, now, will there be some pencil holders out there that love this and are like, it's great, we love it, it works fine? There may be, okay? So I'm not saying all pencil holders are going to hate this. I'm just saying, personally, as someone who holds my hook like this, when I crochet, it doesn't feel as good. Now, if this were the only light set in the world and I needed it, I would still use it. I'm not that way. Okay. Now, the charging system is very simple. You can plug this into a USB, so you can use the chargers that come with your phone. You can plug this into your computer, or even if you have like a car USB, you plug that in, then you plug it into the end of your crochet hook, and you charge it. It took about, well, let's see, I never charged it until I needed to use it, so it had to get a full charge. And then I used it for about 2 days, on and off. I turn it off, turn it on, and use it. And it only needed to charge for like 15 minutes to rejuice itself up. Now, I'm going to tell you what, guys, the length of the charge is going to depend on how much you're crocheting. I crochet a lot. I carry it with me to the doctor's. I carry it with me in the car if my husband's going somewhere and then he quick pops into Walmart and I sit in the car and I crochet. I crochet while watching TV. So this lasting, about 2 days worth of crocheting, it might last longer for someone who only crochets a little bit each night, or someone who may be sitting there crocheting all day. You might only get a half day, right? It's kind of like your phone battery. Your usage is what's going to affect how long it lasts. The thing I did like about this versus any other is there is a super bright and there's a lower off. So you push it one time and it's super bright. Push it another time, it takes it down a notch. Push it the third time, turns it off. Okay. I like that it's an all-in-one case. I like that everything that you need to crochet a project is essentially here. You can take this with you and put this in your crochet bag. You have multiple hooks in case you want to switch, because I like to do my chain in a bigger hook and then change to the required hook size for the project. You can do that. Or if you want to start a different project, you've run off to the store, you're in Walmart or whatever, you buy another skein of yarn, whatever, you've got whatever hook size you want. You've got the charger, which you, like I said, if you have a USB port in your car, because some fancy cars do these days, you can charge it in your car or with your phone charger. And then there's the scissors, the darning needles, the stitch markers, everything you need. So that's what I like. So the final thing that I do like that I wanted to tell you about is I like the smooth shaft. I'm looking specifically for a hook because this will then lead into the thing I don't like. Yes, there is something I don't like. Okay, so it will the shaft, which I hate saying that word. I know, I feel like it's naughty, but it's really not. When you're using the tool, you put it on there, you turn once, and you have to push a little bit harder, and it will click into place. That was my first mistake. I turned once, and it felt like it locked in, but it really hadn't. You have to really lock it in. Now, here is, and it only fits one way. So you're not going to be able to like adjust the location of the hook in order to make it fit better in your hand. Because I thought if I could hold it like this, but then my hook part is going up. If I could have turned it so that the hook part was on the side, maybe it would be better. But anyway, this is a very smooth shaft. And to me, I find it very similar. Let me see if I can get it to zoom to the Clover, okay? It's a similar metal as the Clover hooks. Ooh, unfocused. It's very smooth, so nothing snags on it. Sometimes I notice, like that cheap set that I got from China, as I've used it, it got nicked up. And yes, I know you can sandpaper them or whatever to smooth them out. But as I was using my Clovers, I've never had that problem. It's always stayed nice and smooth. And so has this for the 2 days that I've been using it. So I also found with this nice smooth metal shaft, if you will, is that it was comparable in usage to my Clover. I find that when I'm using my Clover hooks, my yarn types split less. Even Caron Simply Soft, which is known for splitting a lot, splits a little less with the Clovers. It's just something about the way the head shaped, the smoothness, and whatever. And I found that this was the same way. I crocheted this with Red Heart, Clover, some fancy yarns, some Lion Brand. I just pulled out my scraps and would crochet a few chains with it just to see how the hook head worked. So I felt like it was smooth and it really helped with splitting. I did like using it in that aspect. Here is the one negative. The sizing on the hooks is wonky. I don't know enough about the different sizings and, you know, where they are to know why these are wonky. But this is what I'm going to say. Okay, so this is labeled a 5. Do you see that? This is labeled a 5. Generally in America, most 5s are H's. If you look, you can't hardly see. The 5 is still smaller than the Clover 5. Just a little bit smaller. This is how I scientifically found out. I held them like this and looked. I'm sure there's some way, like some kind of measuring I could have done, but they're so small. Then on top of it, they're calling this a 5 and a G, whereas Clover calls their 4 a G. So then if you look for the 4 to see, okay, what are they, where did I put my extras to see what a 4 would be? 5, 6, oh, right down here is the 4, I'm guessing, or the G, E, F. They're calling the 4.5 an F, and the E is what they're calling the 4, which I'm going to be honest, if I were looking at these, the 4.5 looks closer to me to be the size of the 5 Clover. So I tried to sit there, and numbers are not my thing. I have some like problem in my brain when numbers are involved. My brain's like, nope, don't want to compute. Even if it's as simple as comparing numbers. For some reason, my brain just goes haywire and there's like, nope, don't understand. And so I tried to list out in order and then take my Clovers and line them up to see where they line. And I have no idea. I have no idea. So what I would say is if you are currently working on a project and you're using a Clover H, do not come to this lighted set and use it because your sizes are not going to be the same. And I think if you were just going to buy this set and use it yourself, you know, you should be fine. Because especially if you're someone, which I am not, because I am too impatient, but if you use your gauge, you should be fine. You should be fine. Because I'm going to be honest, typically I found that as I got very stressed this year, my crocheting got really tight. And so when a pattern would normally call for a 5, I would have to use a 4 or a 4-5. So hook size is almost irrelevant, especially if you're just making blankets and scarves. because you don't really need a size on those. But if you're making like a sweater or a hat or a glove, you're going to want to do your gauge anyway. And if you're using this as your primary set, then you should figure out what your gauge is anyway, okay? So, I mean, that's the negative. I could not find any rhyme or reason. Now, at some point, somebody once said to me that the wonky sizes that I'm calling them are actually what the British use. But I was looking at my conversion chart from Bella Coco, and I was trying to use that, but again, it was numbers. And so I started getting more confused. So this is what I'm going to say. I'm just going to have to say, I have no idea what they've got going on here. I just know they're not like Clover. And I know Clover and Tulip are exactly the same. If you pick up an H5 and an H5 with Clover and Tulip, not only do they look this, I mean, one's gold and one's silver, but they look similar, and they're both called an H5. And I believe these are made in Japan, aren't they? I mean, I don't know. You know what? My H over here is a little loose. I was just feeling that. So I don't know. I don't know if this is how the British label them. If the British actually have their H be a 4. If that's the case, then these are British sizing. And so I thought I would take a moment for those of you to see what it is here. The L is labeled an 8.0 mm. The K is labeled a 7. And the labeling is right down here. So here's the shaft, and here is the little doohickey, and it's labeled right there. Can you see? Nope. There it is, K. And it looks like it may be backwards for you, sorry. And then let's see what else they have here. The J is a 6.5. The I is a 6. Which, is that right? I thought I had my Clover here. That was an I. This I is a 5.5 with my Tulip. And so that's where you're going. I hope that's enough for you to know. H is a 5.5. So I don't know. I mean, that is the downsize to me. I don't understand enough about why these are labeled different. And then, but I mean, I don't know. Is this British? Is this how Europe labels their hooks? And if it is, it's going to be great for the Europeans. And if not, Americans, like I said, do your gauge. Crochet how you want, if it's a blanket or a scarf, and then do your gauge. I don't know. The only other negative I have, so the first one is that the sizing is out of this world confusing to me. It involves numbers and letters that make no sense. The only other negative that I have for it is that I think the case is a little thick. Okay. Now, this is, oh, I was trying to find out where this hook went. Okay. This is my Clover case. Whoops, I'm throwing tulips all over the floor. And this came like this. And to me, this is a nice, simple case. And here is the thing for your darning needle, a stitch marker, a measuring, and then you can pop your scissors in here too. And I found this to be nice and compact. To me, this is just a little bit big. Is it horrible? No. I was able to keep it in this bag, which I got from T-Doddles, with 2 skeins of Lion Brand ice cream and the start of a project. It fit in here. It wasn't completely out of this world. I brought this to therapy for Flynn this week, in the last couple of weeks, and it was fine. But I mean, I would want it a little slimmer. But then I guess if it was a little slimmer, you wouldn't have room for all this stuff in it. So, I mean, I just felt like I just wanted to be a little fair. So overall, there is, I feel, more pluses than minuses. But it's relative, right? So, I mean, if you're someone that holds like a pencil and you're picky about that, this whole video, none of it really pertains to you because you're like, well, I wouldn't buy it anyway. If you're someone who knife holds and you like all that, it's smooth shaft, it doesn't stick, it's not big for splitting, it's an all-in-one, it's easy to charge, and then you're like, well, I think I can manage with the hook sizes, you know? I don't know. Personally, I'm going to use these and do a review on this case a little later. And for those of you who are pencil holders and you're looking for something, this is what I would talk about. That's coming up. Yeah, so that's that. This is this crochet set. The one other thing I would say is that this does not come out very. So you're not going to be crocheting and this is not going to fall out. I have a cheap interchangeable knitting set and that comes out all the time. And this never comes out. You absolutely have to use the tool to get it out. You have to turn it really firmly to get it out. So you're not going to have that problem where your hook is slid out. And even if you did, let's be real, one of the things about crochet that is way better than knitting is you only usually have like one loop on at a time where you're going to lose. Whereas knitting, you've got all those loops all along that, and when that pops off, you could lose a lot of stitches. That's the thing I love about crochet. You make a mistake, you just pull that one little loop, pops right through. You know, it's that's just my own personal opinion. I feel like I should say something positive about knitting right now, but knitting to me is it just causes me stress. I never relax. But that's what I love about this is even if this were to pop off, which it does not, it wouldn't ruin your crochet. You just find that one little loop, put her back on, lock it in, and keep going, right? So I'm thinking, and I'm just saying that I'm probably not going to use this set too often. Maybe I'll include it in a giveaway coming up because I just could not get over the awkward feeling of holding that hook in my hand. And since I do like my other set better, I don't need to worry. I'm like trying to adjust these for you. You're like, what are you doing over there, Summer? I'm trying to put the heads back in because they do have a specific spot for them. Like obviously the fatter hooks need a fatter place to put their heads than the skinny ones. And so I'm a little OCD. And I like to have everything like fit nicely. Right? I ask my kids, it drives them nuts. Okay, so that is my review, my long drawn out review, 22 minutes. Hopefully for those of you that you just enjoyed listening to me talk, if you didn't enjoy this review. Yarnmania since 2017. I have not been supported by Yarnmania. My husband purchased this on his own with our own money. I didn't receive anything free. Yarnmania is not giving me anything free. I'm not representing Yarnmania, and Yarnmania does not represent me. Yeah, so it's really, this is one of those things that's up to your personal preference. This will, and I think that's like with most hooks, right? There's some people who are dead set on boy, some people who are dead set on clover, baits, you name it. So, you know, this set, if you need a lighted hook set, is going to be for a knife holder. And, yeah, I liked it. Thanks for giving me this idea. And the next review hook set will be this one. Okay, thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos. And until the next video, happy crafting.
Bye.
Bye.